Hello.
Hiya.
I tried to call you on FaceTime just now, and then FaceTime didn't seem to want to work.
Yeah, I was just in class, so I couldn't pick up, sorry about that.
Yeah, but it didn't. I don't think it even rang on FaceTime. But
Oh, yeah.
It did on WhatsApp. But it's still not connecting. Anyway,
Mm.
so where were we? So that first day, so it was.
Yeah.
I had to basically unlearn everything I knew about making a record to make that Tricky record.
Mm.
I mean, Tricky was hilarious and completely, off the wall. And, my manager, I told my manager that I was doing a lot more than just engineering, and she renegotiated with the record company that I would get production.
Mm.
And so we carried on. The first song that came out of that first day was Struggling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was, I don't know, I can't remember what bits we ended up using, but we might have totally scrapped the first two bits we tried. But anyway, that was the first track, and that was great. And Martina was very inspiring, the singer, because she's got such a delicate voice, and we were recording in his house, and we just shoved a microphone in the kitchen, which was just on the other side of this very thin wall through the doorway. And she was such a quiet singer. She was incredibly quiet. I had to have the gain on the microphone cranked right up. And one day she coughed, and it was so loud because she basically sung like a whisper for most of that album. And the great thing about her was that she never worked on anything, Tricky. We'd make a track, and it would be nothing that she'd heard, and then Tricky would call her up, or when we were in his house, she would just call her and say, "Come and do a vocal on this," and she would just go in and sing. She wouldn't warm up. She wouldn't think about it. He would just hand her some words, and she would literally, like Struggling. That was the first time, and it was. I was amazed because she just, whatever she sang, I just kept.
Yeah.
She sang it twice, and I used the second vocal as a kind of ghostly one in the background.
Yeah.
But every time she sang, nearly everything you hear on the record is the first thing that ever comes out of her mouth.
Really?
We never redid vocals. Sometimes I would just repeat the song in the computer like a couple of times, so she'd have and just run it twice in a row without stopping, so that she would just flow. But most of it she nailed, in the first take.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever, there's no sweating over vocals, which is unusual.
Yeah.
So it was. I tell people it